seen more places do this too, where they're like, hey, they'll just put it straight up on the menu. There's going to be like a surcharge because this is going to be to cover the cost of staff or the cost of health insurance. I don't need them necessarily to spell it out for me. I'd rather it just be rolled in.
It's gotten out of control, and it's like led to a slippery slope. You know, like the barista. Thank you. I respect you. Thank you for getting me the juice in the refrigerator behind you in the low boy. But like, for real, dog?
Hey, my name is Chris Browning.
And I'm Paco de Leon.
And welcome to Our 2 Cents, where we dive into the money topics that everyone is talking about. Tipping culture. Has it gotten out of control, or is it necessary to still keep doing this? I don't know. I got a lot of strong feelings about this. By the look on your face, I can tell you got some strong feelings about this. So Paco, what do you think about all this?
All right, caveat right out of the gate. I've never worked in food service, so I've never needed to rely on tips. So I'm coming at this topic from just the consumer perspective. I think tipping culture sucks, and it's gotten out of control, and it's like led to a slippery slope. You know, like the barista. Thank you. I respect you. Thank you for getting me the juice in the refrigerator behind you in the low boy. But like, for real, dog?
You don't think that's worth the tip?
I mean, like, not the automatic 20%. Like, maybe my change or $1 at the most. But yeah, I've seen it's just out of control. I've seen people asking for tips in a context where, hey, like 15 years ago, we didn't do that. Look, I know that maybe makes me sound old or whatever, but let's squash it.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. I've gotten frustrated with tipping. Like, look, I tip all the time. I'm gonna tip when there's like you said, if someone's not doing anything, like I'm not gonna tip you if I had to go get my food, bring it to my table, go throw it in my trash. Like, why? Who's getting tipped here? Who's doing the work? I'm doing all the work here. But if it's like, a sit down place, I know it depends on the state you're in, how the tipping system works. So that's the thing. It's so complicated. Some states, they pay their tip workers full minimum wage plus tips. Some states, you have to use your tips to even get up to minimum wage, or there's a whole complicated math problem going on behind the scenes. So I get it's crazy, but yeah, it's gotten a little out of control. And there really needs to be this broader conversation of why is a system like this still in place versus when you could just, really to me, just pay people more money. Like, look, things will be more expensive, I'm sure, because, they're going to pass the cost on to us. It's not like the business is going to absorb it. But I think I'd rather just pay the price and then not have to do this dance about whether or not I should be tipping, how much should I be tipping, like, should I, like, to me, like, as a percentage, why is it my tip bigger because my food was more expensive? If it was the same amount of work, like if it cost the same amount, if it took the same amount of effort to throw the steak or this piece of chicken on the grill, why is my steak causing me to have a bigger tip, even though it was like the same amount of effort? Like there's so many questions I have about why we do the things the way we do, and I'm like, I think we're due for a revamp.
Yeah, it feels like a budget airline. Just charge me for the bag.
Yeah.
And let's move forward with our lives.
Yeah, let's not pretend that this is cheap. We know you're gonna get me at some point. Just tell me what it is, and let's just call it a day.
Great, we solved it, Chris.
Yeah, problem solved. But it's this old system that I remember. I wrote this article for Men's Health last year about the history of tipping and how it's like layover from slavery.
Yep.
Like post-slavery, they didn't want to pay black people, so they're like, hey, we'll tip you instead. If they think you did a good job, then you'll get some money for it. And it kind of just stuck.
Yep.
And it just became this way of us doing things. And I think when you have things that have been around for so long and they're like so old and based in something so crazy, like I think you gotta rethink things. Like you can't just keep doing things the same way just because this is how it's been done. I think it's okay to say, hey, this system, something that they were doing, doesn't mean we need to keep doing it. Maybe there's a better way to handle this.
This is probably going to get edited out, but I'm going to say it anyways. Sometimes it's easier to just keep moving forward with a crappy system than to confront the reality and the pain of why we have it in the first place.
Yeah, sometimes it is painful to make a change, and you got to get enough people willing to say, hey, let's do a little bit differently. But I think I'm on board with you. I'm seeing more places do this too, where they're like, hey, they'll just put it straight up on the menu. There's going to be like a surcharge because this is going to be to cover the cost of staff or the cost of health insurance. I don't need them necessarily to spell it out for me. I'd rather it just be rolled in.
Totally.
But I like that better than having to figure out if I should be tipping or not. Have you found any other creative solutions to this that you've liked the way people handle this?
There's a few Japanese restaurants here in LA where you'll go in and you'll see the price on the menu and then you'll get your bill and there's no tip and you kind of feel like you won. It's kind of psychologically weird, but I love those spots. It just feels simple and easy. I'm not having to do all this mental math of like, okay, how much am I really spending here?
So like we exist in this system with tipping as it is, right? So if you're like someone who's like, hey, look, I hated tipping. This system doesn't make any sense. I'm just not gonna tip. This is what when I go out, I just don't tip. But then now I'm afraid something's gonna happen to my food. Is there any way you can approach this as I don't think you can make like a personal stand and be like, I'm not tipping anymore.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that. It's like telling the sun to be quiet, like to burn less. We're swimming in these waters right now, and I don't think one individual not tipping is going to be as impactful as you think it's going to be. It's going to make you look like a jerk.
You're gonna look bad. You're gonna look bad.
So even though we're sitting here just complaining about tipping, we still tip at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. Because the thing is, depending on where you live, those people are depending on those tips to survive. And it's like, it's not their fault that this is the system we have.
Exactly.
And it is like, if you just choose not to tip, you kind of are taking it out on the staff when that's not where the problem is. They didn't make the rules. They're just kind of working in it. So but please keep tipping your servers. They're still working hard. They need the money. But maybe we all need to think a little bit harder about the system. And maybe some ways we could do a little bit differently and support those businesses that are doing it differently.
100. Yeah. All right, Chris, what is the most outrageous tip situation you've ever been in?
I think the only time I've really gotten like angry when I was asked for a tip is because I was at one of those self-checkout kiosks, and I'm looking around like, who's gonna get this money? Like, if I tip this, is it gonna go like to the computers or upgrades? Is it gonna be going to the manager? Like, who's get this money? Because literally nobody helped me, and I'm supposed to just tip this, like tap this button. Like, that was the quickest no I've ever hit on a tip screen in my life.
I think I've experienced that before, but I have a vague memory of buying something online and there being a tip option, and I was like, what am I on a reality show here where you're punking me? This is insane.
Like, this thing, like on a website, like
I labored for you, I should get a discount.
Exactly. Can the company tip me?
Exactly.
If we can find a way to flip the tip around to them, now we're talking. But yeah, I don't understand it. I think it's these default systems that are being put in place, and then people just don't go and uncheck it. They're not like turning off the tip screen. They just like, we installed the new software and let it run.
Exactly. Yeah. And they're like, you can tell sometimes they're uncomfortable about it. They're like, we don't know why it's asking for that. We're so sorry.
But yeah, it is annoying saying that.
Yeah.
Hey, so thanks for joining us here on Our 2 Cents.
And don't forget to hit us up in the comments with your 2 cents.
Yeah, and also leave us a like and make sure you subscribe to the channel.